On the eve of a highly anticipated WebX event in Tokyo, a revolutionary Web3 blockchain conference, I had the privilege to speak with David Schwartz, the CTO at Ripple. He's a visionary and an accomplished technologist in the field of blockchain and cryptocurrency. His expertise and innovation have been instrumental in shaping the future of global financial systems. With a keen understanding of distributed ledger technology, David's pioneering work has revolutionized the way cross-border transactions are conducted. His insightful contributions to the blockchain space have earned him a reputation as one of the industry's leading minds. David is a dynamic communicator, adept at demystifying complex concepts and making them accessible to a wide audience. He has inspired others to explore and embrace the transformative power of this groundbreaking technology. David, welcome back to Japan.
Thank you. It is so great to be in Japan.
Yeah, it's really nice to have you here. I want to tell everybody that you're a featured speaker at the WebX in Tokyo, which is really a big event. I don't know if you know, but CoinPost has 6 speakers featured. You are one, along with Fukushima Kishida, which is the Prime Minister, and then also with the Ministry of Trade and Finance. So you're among some big people in Japan.
Great to be in such a esteemed company. I'm going to be talking about real-world asset tokenization, which is definitely an exciting area in the cryptocurrency space.
It is, yeah. That's perfect. I'm sure everyone's going to love to hear that.
We'll see.
So, yeah. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time out, because I know that you're really busy.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah. So I have 5 questions for you, and let's just get right to it. First one is about the strategic guidance that you give with Ripple, the company, because you're a CTO, but very unique one, and you are quite, I think, helpful and important for that guidance that the company relies on. So what I'm kind of curious in that position, you had a 2023 value report, and they talked about the amount of DeFi, the respondents, how interested they are in DeFi. And so if you can tell me, with over 70% wanting to get involved and explore, we've got identity management, we have insurance, there's the tokenization of real world assets, and there's borrowing and lending. How does the AMM fit into that scheme?
I love questions about the automated market maker because it is something that I'm really passionate about. Possibly more passionate than I should be, just because for me personally, I've just been very interested in aspects of trading and liquidity and those parts of finance which the AMM really speaks to. The automated market maker addresses one of the biggest problems with cryptocurrencies, which is the volatility. If you're a speculator, you probably like the volatility, but if you're trying to use a digital asset like XRP for payment, it's kind of irritating to you, especially if your use case requires you to hold it. And we want people to be able to hold digital assets without having to worry that the value is going to change. What the automated market maker does is it executes a trading strategy that minimizes the impact of volatility on people who hold digital assets. But it does other things too. That's not the only thing. That's the thing I'm personally the most excited about, but it also provides additional liquidity. And particularly on the XRP ledger, it fits really nicely with features like the order book, the payment engine, pathfinding, tokenization. It just fits very elegantly into that design.
Yeah. So it'll be utilizing the DEX?
Yeah, it'll plug directly into the DEX. So anything that uses order books can also use the automated market maker. And there'll also be ways for people to interact with automated market makers directly, for example, if they want to provide additional liquidity.
Yeah, super. When we go to the next question, which is about hooks, I'm really curious to know, this is a sidechain that forked the code done by Weitza Wind of XRPL Labs and his team. It's very exciting for, I think, the XRPL ecosystem. And so I'm just curious, with all the new innovation and development that will undoubtedly occur, what are your thoughts?
I'm super excited about the project. I wish that we could be integrating it into the main ledger stream like immediately, but I mean, I know as you know that's unrealistic. There's a lot of challenges and a lot of risk associated. But I mean, I'm super excited about the project. Like I want it now. I want to be able to use it for everything. It's so cool. It's very much in the spirit of the XRP ledger design. He didn't copy what everyone else was doing. He didn't just say, "Oh, let's look at how Ethereum does it, and let's just well, let's have that too." He thought about the sort of spirit of the XRP ledger. The fact that we basically have avoided smart contracts because of their costs and disadvantages, and he thought, how can we give people most of the advantages of smart contracts without turning the XRP ledger into a copy of Ethereum? Because we don't necessarily need another, we don't need another clone. And he did a fantastic job of designing a system that's safe, that's high performance, that doesn't have some of the downsides, some of the security issues. It's just a fantastic job. And I love the fact that we didn't have to do anything. I mean, he would have done it if we hated it. If we told him it was the worst idea in the world and we think it's awful, he still would have done exactly the same thing. And so I just love his spirit, and I just wish we could have it now. I just wish everything could go faster.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of developers talk about how excited they are, and they haven't felt this excited about the XRP ecosystem in a long time. So I'm really thrilled that he went ahead and moved forward. It's a big leap, and it's a great leap.
Yeah, it's interesting historically that we, in the very early days of the company, we were looking at smart contracts before Ethereum, and we kind of made a decision to focus on payments and a sort of multi-asset DEX. And you can play forward an interesting alternate history if we had taken, a different approach.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we're kind of coming full circle on that.
Yeah, and I think a lot will be tested and proven to be stable and solid, and then maybe someday it gets imported into the XRP mainnet, the Ledger mainnet too. It's possible, right?
I think that would be cool. Obviously, it's a long and complicated road, but I think that would be cool. I mean, obviously, if it works well on a sidechain, then
maybe why do it then, right?
And that's one of the great things about a sidechain. Because let's just say that the XRP community hated hooks. We thought it was the worst thing in the world. That wouldn't stop Witsa from building a sidechain with it.
Right.
And people could look at the sidechain and say, hey, wait a minute, like this actually worked. Like he doesn't need anybody's approval to make or launch that sidechain. And so he could prove that it works, because maybe there'll be some future project similar to hooks that doesn't get the positive response from the community. And with sidechain technology, that doesn't have to stop the team from building it, testing it, and then they can convince people, hey, this works, doesn't compromise security, doesn't compromise performance, doesn't mess up fees, and then it could be a candidate for inclusion in the main chain because it's already proven it's worth handling real money. So that's one of the things that I'm excited about with sidechains, and I think hooks will help to show that that's a viable path to develop something, whether or not you have community support.
Yeah, super. Yeah, I'm really glad Witsa's there, giving it a try. Unique approach for Japan, because Japan is a little different, and for the purpose of what we've seen the government do, carving out new regulation or really bringing some emphasis to Web3. I mean, it's part of the national policy now, and there is a real anticipation that Japan is going to have kind of a golden era of tech again.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious, what is your strategy for this unique approach with Ripple and the XRP ledger coming into Japan? Is there some, because you're the guy that is visionary and looking at what to do, how's that going to shape up?
It's a fantastic place to build, Japan, because of the better certainty, the better stability as far as the regulations go. It's sad to me to see projects that can't build in the United States and that leave the United States, and they look for places where it's clearer what the regulatory environment is, or at least it isn't hostile. It's still early days, but it is nice to see focus at the highest levels on things like stable coins, things like tokenization of real world assets. These are the building blocks that are necessary for businesses to succeed in the DeFi space. Legal certainty around things like DAOs, and obviously not having the securities law problems that people have in the United States. So I think we're going to see a lot of projects building in Japan, whether they originate in Japan or just come here because they have that better environment. I think Japan is doing a good job of competing with other places that maybe people might think of. But another thing is just that the community spirit here is just incredible. Some of the people and the things that they're building is the spirit is infectious. Every time I go to Japan, I meet with the community and I come back energized because I meet people who are excited to build. And when I'm in the US, all of the questions I get is like, when are we going to not have these regulatory issues again? When are we going to be able to do things? When are we not going to have to worry? When are we going to, and it's the opposite here. It's like, how quickly can we get this done? Is the technology there? Is there a good product market? These technical questions are the questions that that I love to hear. Is there a real use case for this? Will it actually, how well will it work? They're all technical, and those are the kinds of problems that communities are great at solving. Whereas the regulatory problems are they just suck the energy and life out of things. And so it's really nice for me to leave the environment where every question is why can't we do it to how can we do it? How quickly can we do it? It's just super exciting. Yeah. So the community here is amazing. The developers here and investors and just the VC ecosystem here is it's just amazing.
Good. Yeah, the friendly environment makes a difference.
It really does. It also it's just sort of just feeling like your government doesn't care about what you're doing or is hostile to what you're doing is just one of those things that it kind of sucks the life out of projects that are trying to thrive. And it's just really nice to see projects that don't have to deal with that. And I hope we'll continue to see progress. I know there's still some uncertainty about some of the real world asset tokenization aspects. There's still some regulatory uncertainty there, but at least you have regulators who are not hostile, who look like they're trying to make good progress. And I have to agree, some of those questions are difficult. Like there are bad actors in the space, and you do need regulation to prevent bad actors from doing bad things. And the right solution isn't just everybody can do whatever they want, and if the consumer suffers, oh well, right? Like these things do have to be done thoughtfully, and it is nice to see that thoughtful approach, even if sometimes we wish everything would just move faster. But seeing a partnership between regulators and industry is completely different, even if it doesn't move as fast as we might want to. It's just completely different from seeing an adversarial relationship that just pushes businesses overseas. So
yeah, this WebX I think is going to be very important also to take that next big leap for Japan.
Super excited to be here.
Yeah. I think you've come to Japan a few times. I get the question all the time from people who ask me what should I do when I come to Japan. And even in a lifetime, I don't think you can do everything that this city has, and the country for that matter. Kyoto, Fukuoka, down in Okinawa, up in Hokkaido. It's just so unbelievable in terms of the diversity of experiences. But what do you like to do when you come to Japan?
Oh man, I love to just walk around. It's definitely one of my top 3 favorite cities to walk around in and just see all cool little stores and people. I was here once with the cherry blossoms, and that was just amazing. I was walking around at night and I saw families under street lamps with like having picnics, and it was just the most amazing thing in the world. Of course, sushi. I'm big on food everywhere, and of course, I love Japanese food, or as they call it here, food. You can use that joke about any country. And of course, meeting with the community. The community in Japan is just one of the most amazing communities. They're just so involved and so motivated. And I get these great technical questions about like product market fit and there's some places where every question is about like, how can I make money without putting effort in? Which is just one of those things that frustrates me. And then instead I get questions about like, well, how can I make this idea work? Or how can I solve this problem? Which of course is what I love. The last time I was here, before this one, I was here with my wife, and we had a couple of extra days, and we took trains, to some of the more further out places instead of just staying in Tokyo, and that was just amazing. The food just gets more spectacular. The people get more spectacular. The countryside, it's just an amazing country.
Quite a contrast, isn't there, from the city to when you go into the rural areas?
Yeah. I mean, a big difference. And of course, if you just stay in a major city, you kind of you get some things, but there's certainly others that you miss.
So the last question is about this crazy world that we often spend a lot of time in, which is crypto Twitter. And I just want to say thank you so much for bringing humor to the space, because sometimes it's stressful. You've got this combination of just a whole lot of complexity in the space. Everyone who is here knows quite well. But I love following you on Twitter because your humor is just sometimes exactly what I need at that moment. And I love your jokes.
Oh, thank you.
So will you please just give us a joke today?
I can absolutely do that. And I will give you my favorite pirate joke. First of all,
Okay.
I love pirate jokes. It's very much on the theme of hooks. And of course, who doesn't love pirates? Well, anyone who's actually encountered them in real life. But I mean, who doesn't love the concept of pirates? So I will give you my favorite pirate joke. So a guy's just finished work, late at night. He's kind of thirsty. He passes a bar. And he thinks, hey, I'll stop in at the bar and get something to drink. So he walks into the bar, and he sits down, he orders a drink, he gets the drink, and he notices on the other end of the bar, there's a guy in a pirate costume. And I'm talking like Hollywood grade, amazing pirate costume. He's got everything. He's got the hook hand, he's got the peg leg, he's got the eye patch, everything but the parrot. The guy walks up to the guy in the pirate costume. He says, that is the most amazing pirate costume I've ever seen in my life. And the man says, I'm not going to do a pirate accent. You got to imagine a pirate accent. I'm not even going to try. He says, no, it's not a pirate costume. I mean, I'm a pirate. And the guy's like, oh, that's very funny, but there aren't pirates anymore. And I mean, the ones that there are, like in Somalia or whatever, like they don't look like the pirates, from the 1700s. He goes, no, real pirates still around. We still exist. He says, all right, if you're a real pirate, tell me something. How'd you get the peg leg? The guy says, well, you're not going to believe this. It was my first day as a pirate. Got into a battle with some corsairs on the high seas. We bested them, but one of them just cut my leg clean off. And when you're a pirate and you lose a leg, you get a peg leg. The guy's like, I don't know what I expected. I don't know that I believe that, but all right, let's just move on. How'd you get the hook hand? He says, well, you're definitely not going to believe this. It was my second day as a pirate. We were in this battle with all of these corsairs, and one of them just cut my arm clean off. I was unsteady with the peg leg, and it was a tough battle. It was only my second day. I lost the hand, and when you're a pirate and you lose your hand, you get a hook hand. He goes, all right, I guess. I don't know. So tell me about the eye patch. I guess I asked the other two questions. I got to ask the last one. He says, well, then you're definitely not going to believe this, because it was on my third day as a pirate. We were coming back into port, and I heard like a fluttering or swooshing sound above me. I looked up, and a seagull just relieved himself right in my eye. Guy's like, all right, wait a minute. I don't know how I felt about the hook hand and the peg leg. I didn't know what to expect. But if you expect me to believe that you lost your eye because a seagull like defecated in it, there's just no way. He says, you have to remember, it was my first day with the hook.
It's good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much again, David. I wish you all the best at WebX and hope to see more of your jokes on Twitter.
My pleasure. Great seeing you in person.
Thank you.